They just said Metro said till 28.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure everybody's ready.
I'm not ready because I hit go live and it won't let me change the screen.
In the, well, yeah, we're going to do that first and then put it in and then.
Well, you didn't tell me that.
Sorry.
But
Sorry,
also,
let's just keep talking, guys.
here, that's CDN1 is CDN2, CDN B is also. So it's kind of weird. Well, actually, CDNA is actually
Oh, wait, so, wait a minute, 28, that means we're going to be sitting
so
together
there's
forever.
eight, so there's more in the
4
first
minutes?
minutes. Yeah, there's more.
It's
So
okay.
one is
Okay.
and two is the backup.
That's fine, put it where it is because it's 13, 24,
Yeah,
28.
eight. Yeah, and then what's interesting is I think this is going to be the door. The showcase thing. Yeah. That's the that. It's not, which is currently Patriot Park.
That is wild.
That was yes. Yes. We make it right. And that kind of makes sense. All of it, but that makes sense. At least for this to make sense. But then going back again, then it should be later. Oh, that's why they did that. So, sorry. Yeah, I tried to go left to right. At least on the offset look there, you see what's going on. It kind of does make sense.
1 minute.
But that's fine. You can honestly say it's a bit off. Yeah, I keep going back. So it's funny. You sent me years ago. You sent me this.
Started drinking early today.
You sent me this 14.
Hey, I was thinking about it. Well, I did it now before we went on with the shot.
Crack one open for me too, huh?
Last time he did that, it exploded. I thought I was being shot.
Yeah.
I'm
really glad he did it before the hit.
Yes.
I did it eventually.
Whatever.
All right,
But see, and they already
let's rock and roll. Here we go.
15 seconds.
for some reason
Five, four, two, one, drop.
is our second backup camera.
Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome in here to CBS News Texas. This is the stream. Ken Molestina here. Good to have you along with us as we continue to follow some breaking news, this time coming out of Chicago as it all pertains to what's happening here in the state of Texas. This is the very latest now on this redistricting fight that we have been monitoring for the past couple of weeks now here in Texas. We know that a group of Texas Democratic lawmakers have left to Chicago. They have been in areas around Chicago, better said, in Illinois, as they continue to break quorum here in the state of Texas. We know that the last 5 attempts to have quorum at the Texas State House have failed. 95, 96 has been the head count as of the last couple of times. You need 100 to make quorum in order for the special session to take place. We do know that the special session that is currently running, which was scheduled to wrap up August 19th, is going to be wrapping up this Friday, several days before the anticipated wrap up of the August 19th date, and then a second session will begin. We are also hearing that potentially some of the Democrats who have left the state in order to break quorum will be back. Of course, then that means that the work of the special session can continue, namely the voting on the redistricting maps that have caused so much controversy. These are maps that would give Republican leadership an additional 5 seats in Congress here in the state of Texas. But what we're expected to hear now, and what we're expected to listen to here in just a little bit is a press conference with the Democratic caucus from Texas in Chicago. They're going to be joined by lawmakers from Indiana. Again, all of it happening in Chicago, and they're expected to come out and in their words, condemn Vice President J.D. Vance's recent campaign to pressure other GOP leaders in the state of Texas to find a way to find an additional 5 seats through the efforts of these redistricting maps. So again, that's expected to happen at some point in the next minute or so. As soon as that happens, we will let you know and we will take that live. But again, this is something that has been sort of boiling over now for several days, certainly just this week and towards last week when the first roll calls were being taken in the state capitol down in Austin, where time after time after time again, quorum was failed to be reached. It happened earlier in the week last week, several times throughout the week, and now a couple of times already here this week as well, as the Republican leadership now continues to do whatever they can to compel the Democrats who have left the state and others who are in the state but have not been present for the roll call at the state capitol to be present, to be there in their seats. But again, at any moment now, we are expected to hear the Democratic caucus, who has been, or leaders rather, from the Democratic caucus who have been in Chicago, make some statements about where they stand in all of this. What we learned today is that they are going to be joined by Democratic lawmakers from Indiana as well. And again, that is expected to take place any minute now. 1:30 our time is a time that we were given. Of course, these things don't always happen right on time, but we are keeping a very close eye on it. And as soon as that happens, as soon as it gets going, we will cut to that so we can listen live. A couple of the things that have taken place here in the state of Texas that have really been a first for so many people, at least in recent years, in order to try and compel some of the Democrats to come back, was this idea that the DPS troopers were Department of Public Safety, so state police, were sent out to look for these Democratic lawmakers who were still in the state but not in the Capitol, to sort of physically compel them to come back. They've been threatened with civil arrests. We know that any absent member has also been threatened to not have their salaries directly deposited into their accounts as they previously had it set up. It is law that they do need to be paid, but as Republican lawmakers made a point of stating earlier this week, there is no law that says that they have to directly deposit it into their account. So they're physically trying to compel them to come down and receive a check in person. We're going to go ahead and listen to this news conference again just as soon as it starts. So let's go ahead and take the live shot now and tune into that. And as soon as it gets going, we will be listening. Have a look. I guess we still don't have it.
representative from House District 137 in Texas. I'm also the minority leader in the Texas House. And, Democrats are here breaking quorum and blocking a racist, unconstitutional, and illegal gerrymandering effort in Texas, stopping the DC swamp from dictating who we get to vote for. This is an effort to stifle Americans who have had enough. Because Republicans know that their agenda and what they have done is so unpopular with not just liberals or Democrats, but with all Americans. That they need to cheat to rig the system so they can stay in power. And when we first started this journey, we talked about the fact that eventually they still might pass these maps. But we're going to do everything we can to, one, wake up America, to try to reignite the fire that is the American people, for us to fight again for what we believe in and what we want. And the second thing is that we wanted to block this legislative session, to give the people a chance to speak up and to tell their government, to tell their leaders what they actually want. When we first talked about it, we thought, and we discussed that maybe it was a kind of a grand, maybe too ambitious or high-minded, that we're going to try to excite other people, to get other people into action, to start a fire in this country that will help take our country back. And we worked and we worked and we went on trips, we went on interviews, we talked to everybody we could. And I'm so happy to be here today because in the past week, we have heard from California, we have heard from New York, we have heard from Illinois that people are ready to stand up. People are ready to fight back. And now I want to bring up the people who will continue this fight, the people who have also caught fire, who are ready to take their country back, who are ready to take their state back, because the same things are being proposed right here. We're right here in Cherish Park talking about, sorry.
That's all right.
MLK Park. We're here at MLK Park to talk about the future of what there is. And we want to bring up people who are also asking for help, just like we're asking for help. That we cannot do this alone. That this is not a fight that we can sustain and win on our own. And what we need more people to join us. Yeah. We need more states to come to our aid. Yeah. And we need more people to say, we will start taking more aggressive actions. We will defend against this. If Texas is determined to do this, if other red states are determined to do this, and to stifle and block the will of the people, and to take away our voice and our power, then we will have other states who will make sure that it does not matter what they do, that we will nullify their actions. We will make it pointless for them to attack our democracy. And with that, I welcome up the leader that will also help us continue this fight and continue on, Floor Leader Pryor.
Hi, everyone. I'm State Representative Cherish Pryor, House Democratic Floor Leader, representing House District 94 since 2008 on the northwest side of Indianapolis. I was part of the 2011 walkout by the House Democrats. I also served on the Elections Committee and was a member during the 2021 session when Indiana's congressional maps were drawn. The position we face today should trouble every American who believes in the promise of this country, who believes in the Constitution, that it matters, and who understands that efforts to redistrict in the middle of a decade is not only unprecedented, it is also morally corrupt. I proudly stand with my Texas colleagues to protect our democracy. This state contains in 2021, like every other state, Indiana redrew its state and congressional maps based on the legal 2020. Those maps were fairly by Republican colleagues at the time as the best and fairest map ever. That was the today their political boss, Donald Trump, has demanded more congressional seats, even in states that already have gerrymandered maps, like Indiana. He has even called for a youth census. I am represented by one of the Democrats in the Indiana delegation. Indiana intends to eliminate this history. It would not deny us the ability to elect our position and advocate for what is in our best interest. This behavior that you're seeing today, you would not expect it from this. We would expect that from a dictatorship, not from the United States of America. Right. We have always taken pride in our Constitution and what it stands. It is sad that some in the Republican Party have become so misguided that they value power more than our country, more than democracy, more than. Why are we doing this right now? Because they know their policies are failing. The so-called big beautiful bill is a big ugly mess. Yeah. And Americans are starting to feel that impact. They know they can't win with the party. They themselves in these red states. So they're trying to reach out with them with their faith. That's not the mark. That's not the mark. That's meanwhile, Americans are they're different. They're taking when the bed's on, they're gonna their heads. They're going to be sitting outside because that is where Republican policies are sitting. Their greatest fear is that Americans are waking up and realize that Republican policies are not making them better off, making them bankrupt. And so, hold on their power and keep the protecting. They want to reprogram the districts in mid-decade. They have tried to discredit the press, and anyone who dares to disagree with them. But Democrats will not stop fighting to preserve our democracy. Right? That is why we are here, and that is why we stand shoulder to shoulder with our Texas Democrats. And now I would like to bring up my colleague that came in the legislature with me. My colleague stood firmly with the House Democrats. He stood up for labor unions. Uh, he represents the Indianapolis area, Representative Ed Delaney.
Hi there, I've been told to introduce myself. I'm Ed Delaney, House District 86, North Side of Indianapolis, Democrat in the House. I want to talk to you about two people. one of whom we should glorify and one of whom we should condemn. But before I get to that, let me tell my friends in Texas how glad I am at how much it pains me to have to remind the stuff in the national. You have this, you end up having to go to Chicago. What you're doing is protecting. That's right. That we are beyond. We can't get it. All right. I'm going to talk about a hero. The hero, a guy named John McCain. There's a very interesting term. He said we need regular order. We do things the way the rules allow. We do things the way we've done them before, and we do them openly and honestly. That's regular order. This is completely rejected by me. All right, I'll give you an example of the guy who's not a hero. It is J.D. Vance. In my view, and I'm being serious about this, the man is engaged in congressional level shoplifting. Can I say that again? That's what he's doing. Let me explain what I mean. And the boys will know it, and the girls will know it from different contexts. When I was in grammar school, the bullies would go to the convenience store and say, Ed, I'm going to steal a candy bar. Will you steal one too? And some girls would go to children's stores and be told to give themselves a free skirt. Okay? We had to make decisions. Never in my life did I think that the Vice President of the United States would come to my state and ask our legislature to shoplift to congressional districts. Steal them off the shelf, run outside, and wave them in front of the country. We cannot have this kind of conduct. Let me remind you that not one Republican legislator in the state of Indiana was calling for a special session before this guy showed up from Washington with his shoplifting scandal. Okay? Not one. There was no conversation. And the Republican supermajority cannot shut up about how much they hate special sessions. They don't call for them. They don't like them. It's a Democrat idea. Special sessions are a form of disease. Now, some of them are caving in. Others are standing up. I'll mention a third guy. I won't call him a hero. He's not there yet. But the immediate past Republican speaker, a guy named Brian Bosma, he believed in regular order. He believed that the institution of the House had to be respected, and it could only be respected if the members respected each other and respected themselves. That's what's at risk, is the mutual respect of the legislature of our state and of Texas and of other states. I don't want to play this game of, ritual gerrymandering. And by the way, if these idiots get their wishes, what happens if they lose one of those 5 congressional races? Oh my God, let's have another redistricting next year. This has got to be put to a stop. These are the people who are going to try to put it to a stop. I know how hard it is, but we need to support them and stand with them. Otherwise, our people will be subjected to ever-changing districts, none of which are representative. Thank you very much. And I now have to introduce Earl Harris, who is the Assistant Caucus Chair, as am I. I just gave him a new title. And he's also the head of the Black Legislative Caucus in Indiana, and he's from the region. He'll explain what that is. Excuse me.
Thank you. Again, my name is Earl Harris, Jr., State Rep from House District 2 in Northwest Indiana. I serve as the Assistant Floor Leader with Representative Pryor. I also serve as the Chair of the Indiana Black Legislative Caucus. And on the national level, I serve as the Vice Chair of the Board of Latino Legislative Leaders. Here's the thing. I am an Indiana State Representative, Northwest Indiana, House District 2. I represent 68,000 people, just like the rest of the representatives in Indiana. My job, my responsibility, why they put me into office is to help my constituents make their life better, do things that will help them and guide them through life. My job is not to help a guy in Washington, D.C. to come in and make a change impacted by bringing people in to make a vote that we're not supposed to make. My job is to help the people that I represent, not the guy in Washington, D.C. When you talk about disenfranchising, this is disenfranchising voters. Doing mid-year is a huge mistake. Northwest Indiana, Congressional District 1, we are one of the 2 districts in Indiana that are represented by Democrats. My district also, as I mentioned, as you may have gathered, I'm half Black, half Mexican. My district is a big population of Blacks and Latinos. Why are we disenfranchising the voters of Black and brown people who chose the person we want to represent us? So we need to stand here and fight and be here in this fight. The other thing I want to bring up before I close is we are talking about and looking at on the national level and with us on the state level, insurance for people getting cut because of money. Money that goes to feed children getting cut because the funds aren't there. Teachers not getting paid the way they are. There's a long list of things that money is not there for, but now there's talk of bringing us back, which will cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for a special session. Someone please explain to me how that makes sense. So I'm glad to stand here with people from Texas. I'm glad to stand here in Illinois because the other reality to this is Texas is here not only fighting for Texas, they're fighting for Indiana, they're fighting for Illinois, they're fighting for states all over this country. And it is important that we, representatives from the state of Indiana, show up and show them that we have their back. I want to thank you for your time. We're not going to answer questions, but we will be around to talk to you as individuals. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet, it's this dope tech from Wix. Now, this whole flow is a conversation.